Eyes of the Madman. Long ago, in the heart of a green and fertile land, lay a village called Akpuru, surrounded by thick forests, whispering rivers, and red earth roads. Akpuru was a proud place. Its people were hard-working farmers, hunters, and craftsmen. They celebrated their gods during the full moon and offered sacrifices at the shrine of Onyinye, the spirit of the land. The elders were wise, the youth were strong, and the women were beautiful and graceful. But hidden among their pride was a seed of arrogance. They believed no power or wisdom could come from a person who looked dirty, who mumbled to himself, and who roamed the streets like a spirit with no home. And so, when Obu, the madman, came to Akpuru one rainy season, they laughed. Obu stumbled into Akpuru one twilight, drenched, barefooted, and muttering words no one understood. His eyes were wild, his beard thick, and his body covered in red dust. Children ran after him, singing mocking songs. Obu the madman, broom on his head, carries fire in his mouth, but no one is dead. He lived under the abandoned Udu tree, where evil spirits were said to whisper at night. The people believed he was cursed. He had no family, no friends, no voice in the community. When he tried to speak, they threw stones. When he entered the market, women clapped at him to drive him away. When he danced at the festivals, they laughed and poured palm wine on his head. But what they didn't know was that Obu was not mad. He was chosen. Obu's so-called madness came after he survived a mysterious illness in a faraway village. During his sickness, he saw visions, clear and sharp, as if the gods had peeled back the layers of the future for him. One evening, he stood in the village square and shouted, "I see fire. I see men with iron sticks. The trees will bleed. The rivers will turn to dust." The villagers only laughed. "He's singing a new song today," said Zenwa, the village hunter. Another time, Obu rushed into the marketplace, tearing his clothes and weeping. The ground is cracking. Children cry in the shadows. The gods are angry with our pride. This time, the youths beat him and chased him back to his tree. Only one person, Mma Neka, an old widow with a bent back and cloudy eyes, took Obu seriously. She would bring him roasted yams and whisper, "Speak, madman. I hear the winds too." But she was old, and her words carried no weight in the council of elders. Then, one Harmattan morning, all the village goats died. One by one, they fell, frothing, kicking, and silent. The chief priest, blinded by pride, claimed it was the fault of a hidden sorcerer. Obu laughed and said, "The gods warned. You didn't listen. This is the beginning." Still, they beat him and tied him to a tree. Then came the second sign. The river Ula, which had never dried, suddenly turned muddy and low. The fish died. The women went further into the forest for water. Some never returned. Obu screamed louder, "You will all drink tears soon. The forest is closing its mouth." Still, they ignored him. Months passed. Then came the horror that would change Akpuru forever. At midnight, drums sounded, not from their hands, but from strange men who entered the village with fire, guns, and chains. They came from a neighboring clan seeking revenge for an old war. Huts were burned. Women were taken. Boys were killed. The warriors of Akpuru fought back, but were outnumbered and unprepared. The village that once stood tall now smoldered in ash. In the middle of the chaos, Obu stood atop a rock, eyes blazing. "Did I not warn you? Did I not scream? You mocked me. Now you drink your shame." Suddenly, the people listened. After the attack, those who survived gathered under the Uda tree, where Obu now sat silently. The elders, ashamed and broken, came to him, knelt, and said, "Obu, we mocked you. Forgive us. Show us the way." And the so-called madman rose. He drew patterns in the sand, whispered to the winds, and walked into the forest. The people followed him. He led them to an old valley, fertile and rich in herbs, protected by hills. He said, "Here, build again." They obeyed. Slowly, a new Akpuru rose, stronger and wiser. And Obu was no longer a madman. He was the seer of Akpuru, and a sacred stool was made for him. by the blacksmiths whose hands once drove him away. Years later, children no longer mocked mad people in Akpuru. Instead, they were told, "Listen, the gods speak in strange tongues." The people learned that wisdom does not always wear clean clothes, and that the loudest truths sometimes come from broken voices. Obu died at the age of 90, surrounded by villagers. His last words were, "Never ignore the wind that blows against your skin. It may carry the voice of the gods." They buried him under the udu tree, and every season they left yams and palm wine there, not in pity, but in honor.